Alright, so this is the Batman Arkham Knight prequel, which shows us exactly everything that happens leading up to the events that we see play out in the actual game. But before we jump into it, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you guys are liking these types of videos, and let me know in the comments what comic you want to see me cover next. But now with the promo out of the way, let's get into it, shall we? So this comic opens up to the ending of Arkham City, where Batman and Clayface have the little scuffle and the Joker ends up dying. And as we see in the following panels, we see the exact same ending play out as Batman carries Joker's lifeless body and places him on the front of a police car. And now we get to see what follows right after that, which isn't showcased in the actual game, as we see Batman swinging away from the theater on his way back to the Wayne Manor when he's stopped unexpectedly by an old foe who we all thought was dead and gone from Arkham Origins, which is Electrocutioner. But it turns out that instead of it actually being Lester Pachinski, the original Electrocutioner, it's actually one of his henchmen who manages to find Lester's old prototype electric gloves and took up the mantle of Electrocutioner for himself, since Batman had snatched the real deal for himself all those years ago. But of course this encounter doesn't last long, as Batman freezes his face with what I can only assume is a freeze grenade and swiftly takes him out, only enduring a few electrocutions here and there. But just after Batman leaves the scene, to everyone's surprise, the Arkham Knight comes into frame, giving his own little speech to the Electrocutioner as he points a gun at his head, essentially telling him that Batman's greatest power is the fear he brings when facing off against his villain, and the Arkham Knight will be the only person he goes against who he can't frighten, which is his greatest power. And to end it all off, he shoots Electrocutioner in the head, killing both him and any future appearances in the rest of the series. I really found this scene pretty enjoyable because it's pretty cool to know that the Arkham Knight was in Arkham City while Batman was doing his roundabout saving the whole place. But then this brings us to the next day at Wayne Manor, where for probably the first time in however long it's been, we actually witness Bruce getting a full night rest instead of the power naps he usually takes to keep up with the Batman schedule. And in the following panels, we see as Bruce and Alfred have a conversation about the longevity of Batman and when it'll be time for Bruce Wayne to be the one to save Gotham instead of Batman, as Alfred tries to convince Bruce to take action to help make Gotham City a safer place by using the resources at his fingertips as Bruce Wayne. As he puts it, focusing on Gotham's knights has left its days vulnerable, and that his actions as Bruce Wayne would last in the long run, whereas Batman's actions only help in the short term. But now we're transported to the Gotham City morgue, where we see two doctors working on Joker's corpse, where they discover that for some reason Joker had two layers of skin, which revealed a flash drive hidden within it, and the moment they removed the flash drive case, it spewed out his signature laughing gas, which fills up the entire room, killing them both. To which we're swapped back to the perspective of Bruce Wayne, who meets with many of the leaders and politicians in Gotham City to pitch a movement with the help of the Wayne Foundation to change Gotham for good and keep it safe, which is exactly what Alfred just said a few panels ago, which is so funny because not even a second later we see Alfred gloating that he was right and that Bruce actually took his advice for once, even after turning down the idea multiple times. But just before Alfred could leave, a video of the Joker recorded before he died pops up on the screen in the Batcave and apparently in the entire city, as we see Penguin in the Iceberg Lounge also being able to view it. It's never actually shown in specific what is said, other than little pieces of dialogue here and there, but according to Batman, the Joker had a separate message for him, as he figures out that Joker had placed bombs inside of all of Gotham City's walls, which were set to go off in an hour's time. But the only way to disarm them, according to the Joker, is an override code that's able to be found somewhere within the abandoned Arkham Asylum on Arkham Island. And the moment he gets to the asylum, we're shown that he's not actually alone, and that the Arkham Knight had trailed him all the way here, and according to some of the goons he had interrogated beforehand, Clayface had apparently moved all the explosives to Arkham Asylum, which Batman immediately notices as a bomb was attached to the first door he entered, which goes off automatically with both the Arkham Knight and Batman still in the asylum walls as a massive explosion happens, reminiscent of the explosion that occurs when Jason Todd had been killed in the Death of the Family storyline all those years ago. But somehow the Knight actually survived the explosion, but along with him surviving, he managed to find no trace of Batman. But he did, however, find a booklet with the title My Diary on it, which seems to be Joker's final wishes or will, but isn't revealed the contents of it, with the Knight escaping Arkham Island away from the GCPD. But before we're sent back to Gotham City, we see a familiar face who up at this point hasn't appeared physically in an Arkham game since Arkham Asylum, and that's the Scarecrow, as the comic actually makes a reference to an Easter egg found in Arkham City, which is if you go into the cryptographic sequencer and go to the correct coordinates, you hear a disembodied voice saying a string of letters, and when deciphered comes out to I will return Batman, you will pay for what you have done to me, and fear will tear Gotham to shreds, which is exactly what we see in the comic, as it seems like he has a device he used to send out that message while also being able to see his new and improved costume, which reveals that he didn't actually die in Arkham Asylum like everyone originally thought, but shows that he's back and better than ever. But now we're brought back to Gotham City, in which we're placed at the Gotham docks, where one of Joker's goons is assaulting a random man for whatever reason, attempting to rob him. But before he can go any further, a hand reaches out of the ocean, pulls the Joker goon in, which turns out to be Bruce Wayne, who somehow survived the explosion on Arkham Island along with the Arkham Knight. After he gets some new clothes from the man he just saved, he meets up with Gordon somewhere outside Gotham City, in order to finally put Joker's body away and burn it for good, where Gordon notifies Batman that his body was indeed booby-trapped, killing 2 people, and shows him the flash drive found within his body, to which they both finally say good riddance to the Joker and watch his body finally burned in the incinerator. And to close the issue off, Alfred does a search of the contents on the flash drive found in Joker's body, which turns out that the only thing on it was something called the last will and testament of the Joker. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where issue number 1 ends, as in the next issue we find out exactly what is said on Joker's will, more about the Arkham Knight's plan, and see how it all relates back to the game itself. So with that, we've reached the end of the video. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you guys would like a part 2, let me know in the comments and like the video so I know for sure. But in the meantime, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel as I post videos every single week. I have several shorts on the channel dedicated strictly to the Arkham games. You'll always power content no matter what. Click on the bat symbol to check out my comic book breakdown of the Batman animated series comic, and click on the video to the right of that to check out a video that I think you'd like on my channel, because if you like this one, you'll definitely like that video. I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you all next week with another video. Peace!